If you think we can't change the world, it just means you're not one of those that will. Merely complaining without proposing an alternative offers nothing. If you love someone and they want to leave, you help them pack. That's love. No one is born with greed, prejudice, bigotry, patriotism, and hatred. These are all learned behavior patterns. It's your own expectations that hurt you, not the world you live in. Whatever happens in the world is real. What you think should happen is unreal. So people are hurt by their expectations. You know, you're not disappointed by the world. You are disappointed by your own projections. Creativity is taking known elements and putting them together in unique ways. We don't know how to live together on Earth. How the hell are we going to live together on Mars? I don't want you to trust me. I want you to question everything I say. War, poverty, corruption, hunger, misery, human suffering will not change in a monetary system. That is, there will be very little significant change. It's going to take the redesign of our culture and values. There are no good or bad people. Humans are shaped by culture. If technology does not liberate all people for the pursuit of higher aspirations in human achievement, then all its technical potential will be meaningless. The intelligent use of science and technology are the tools with which to achieve a new direction. Politics is an obsolete way of doing things. Although it was good 100 years ago, it has no place in today's high-tech society. Wiser, never wise. Smarter, never smart. Don't forget, you're dealing with aberrated people. They're not responsible for their answers. They're victims of culture. That means they have been influenced by their culture. As long as there are prisons, police, armies, and navies, we are not civilized. When the Earth joins together and uses the Earth intelligently, that will be the beginning of civilization. The Venus Project is not about new cities or new architecture. It's about a way of thinking. Opinions are very dangerous because they aren't based on scientific studies. The Venus Project is a translation of all religions. The end of war, the end of poverty, the brotherhood of humanity. If that isn't spiritual, like I've said before, I don't know what is. As long as superstition and ignorance prevail, humanity will fall short of eradicating war, poverty, and hunger. Take off all the masks, manners, fancy clothes, all the devices you use, and be the most honest person you can be with yourself. Then, whatever love you get then is real. All the false approaches, like trying to be a player, only bring false results. When education and resources are available to all without a price tag, there will be no limit to the human potential. We live in a world where our social system is old, our language is old, the way we acquire goods and services is outdated. Our cities are detrimental to our health, chaotic, and a tremendous waste of resource. And most of all, our politics and values no longer serve us. You really don't want a job. What you want is access to those things you'd like to have. Our customs, behaviors, and values are byproducts of our culture. Whatever happens in the world is real. What one thinks should have happened is projection. We suffer more from our fictitious illusion and expectations of reality. If you make a movie of the present-day culture, in the future, it'll be a horror film. It's hard in a monetary system to trust people. I don't get upset if people think I'm crazy. If you go to a mental hospital and someone calls you a name, would you get upset? Of course not. Well, that's the way I think about the world. They don't know any better. We are not taught to be thinkers, but reflectors of our culture. Let's teach our children to be thinkers. War is the supreme failure of bridging the differences between nations. People will continue to search for answers to universal and perplexing problems, but to find meaningful answers, one must first know what question to ask. The entire money structure and materialistic society is a false society. To be human is to care for your fellow human beings and protecting the environment. Armies are created to protect an established system, not people. In the future, an educated humanity will not stand for war. So normal is really what society dictates as normal, and if we're born in that world, we would see that as normal. But if you think about it for a second, is it really? People say that the monetary system produces incentive. This may be true in limited areas, but it also produces greed, embezzlement, corruption, pollution, jealousy, anger, crime, war, poverty, tremendous scarcity, and unnecessary human suffering. You have to look at the entire picture. The difference between a serial killer and a saint is environment. That's a very hard thing to accept because that raises a lot of questions. If you took the profit out of war, there would be no war. What the hell do you think war is? You think we go to another country to bring democracy? We go there because there's oil, resources, or something we need. The Venus Project presents a bold and new direction for humanity that entails nothing less than the total redesign of our culture. During the thousands of years of monetary system, most workers have been paid just enough to make it necessary that they return to work, even when higher wages have been possible. How else can the wage payer keep the workers coming back? There's no such thing as designing the perfect utopian city. Everything is subject to change. There are no final frontiers. Love is to stop making demands on people and give them room to grow. Science and education, when devoid of a social conscience or environmental and human concern, are meaningless. If you're shipwrecked on an island with $10 million and your wife has gold and diamonds, but there's no water, no arable land, no fish, you have nothing. Money is a nothing thing. We must stop constantly fighting for human rights and equal justice in an unjust system, and start building a society where equal rights are an integral part of the design. We can work out anything if we put our mind to it, study it, do hard work, instead of finding simple answers. There are no bad people. There are people with insufficient information to make appropriate decisions. It is not enough to criticize society without offering a workable alternative. The system you're brought up under tries to make you like the people that succeeded in that system.